What's up with your butter? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to your favorite with your messy ass story time. Your wine, snacks, everything you need. Just take a break from reality for a second, because you know things out in these streets are crazy. Yes, I did steal some of my daughter's little hair things for my look today. We're not talking about it. So I already knew that this was gonna happen, so I'm just gonna go ahead and continue on with the stories, like the messy shit that would go on in the offices that I would work in the past in regards to work wives, work husbands, work relationships. Some people think that it's fine, but you know what? To my surprise, I don't know if I was really surprised, but you see, y'all my Glamazon, so we like here, okay? Basically, all of y'all were like, no. Absolutely not. Work wives, work husbands, work, I don't care. Like, absolutely not. That's a no for me, dog. Glad that we're on the same page. Today, I'm going to tell you guys about another messy situation that happened in my office. So, grab your wine and snacks, because the tea is being served, bitch. Rewind back in time. I'm young as hell. I'm working at this office. It's majority men in there, as per usual. Part of my job is to assist them, their calendars, their meetings, all of the clerical administrative shit that you have to do as an administrative assistant or executive admin, whatever. Office manager, all them titles, basically the same thing. There was like 8 to 10 of them that were in this office. Out of all those men, there were only 2, sometimes 3 women in the office, myself included, okay? So it was myself and one other woman. She was like in her 50s, you know, she was older, she was a veteran. She had been working for this company for years. I was obviously a new hire, but at this point, I had been working there for like a good solid, I don't know, like 2-3 months, bitch. I got along really well with all the dudes that I worked with. They were like fresh out of college, starting their career path in this industry, yada yada. So I kind of developed rapport with all of them and got to know all of them, and ultimately they became my friends, and we would talk shit to each other all day, every day, because men are ridiculous and they don't know how to multitask and they're so disorganized, and so we would be fighting up in that office, okay? So fast forward some time, and where I was working, it was a part of a bigger company. We were just like in a smaller building, and headquarters was more towards the city, and a lot of our employees worked out of the headquarters office, and this was just like a smaller one, so we were very tight knit, right? So anytime anybody new came into our smaller office, like we were all over that, right? So one day comes around, girl, and all of a sudden I hear this high-pitched mousy ass voice coming down the hallway talking all loud, and she's talking to my boss. So I'm sitting at the front desk. She walks in. I immediately recognize her. I had seen her during my orientation to get this job. That took place at the headquarters. That's where I knew her, and we'll call her Brittany. Bitch, Brittany had the highest, most mousiest voice, and not only that, she was just kind of annoying. Look, I'm entitled to my fucking opinion, and I worked with her, not you, okay? So don't be trying to like stand up for her pride. She was just one of them. I don't know what it was about her, but she just rubbed me the wrong way. She was just always, she had this condescending thing about her where she would pretend like she's being nice to you and converse with you in a very friendly way, but would like throw in these jabs and like, so where did you go to school? Is that the small one downtown? Oh wow. No, I always wondered about that. You know, it's like so far away from like the DU campus. Like that's where I went to school. And like that was my biggest pet peeve, is like it wasn't close enough to the city. Bitch, shit like that. And why do I remember that? Because I remember it irked me. And I was like, you know, just little, y'all know, okay? Needless to say, kept my peace, but I didn't really mess with Brittany like that. So anytime she came into our office, girl, like I just mind my own, and she did her own thing. I say all that to say she came into the office this day, and I recognized her voice all the way down that damn hall, and I was like, fake. Brittany's here. Let me drink my coffee first. So she comes in right next to my boss. They're chit-chatting about whatever. And she goes in to go see the other lady that I work with. And that lady was like in HR. So she was going to go talk to her about something. And usually on days that she would come out to our office, because it was so far from the headquarters where she usually worked out of, she would like make the whole day out of it and just stay at our office all day and like be asking all kinds of questions about why we do the things that we do and like our policies, like our procedures in the office. She would be one of them. Everything was all good, okay? We got our way of doing things in here. Don't be trying to come up here and change the things, Brittany. She didn't come often, but when she did, every single time, she has something to say. Hey, Nikki, can I talk to you for a second? Keep in mind, she's not my superior. She's not my supervisor. She's in no way affiliated with my position, bitch. But she always felt the need to pull me aside. Hey, Nikki, can I talk to you for a minute? Hey, Nikki, can I show you something? Hey, Nikki, I just noticed this. Can you, whenever you have a minute? And like, just stuff like that. So I'd be like, oh my God. So I would set down everything I'm doing and I would go over there and look at whatever she needed me to look at. So like I see that you guys have like all of the reams of paper stored here, but like there's this cabinet here that's used for other stuff, but like don't you think that maybe the paper would be better in the cabinet? So I saw that you guys got groceries delivered, but you only have one type of coffee creamer, and you never know. Like me personally, I'm like a French vanilla girl, but you guys only have hazelnut here, and I just feel like everyone in the office should be able to have, you know, something that they enjoy. So maybe get one hazelnut, one vanilla next time. Bitch, I can't make this up. Like that's the type of stuff that she was talking to me about. Not my job, not my background, not my credentials, not anything work related, but how things were in the office, and she wanted to change all of it. So one day comes around, girl, and I'm not in the mood. I don't even remember what happened that day, but something had pissed me off, okay? And I was not in the best of moods. And she tries this shit on me, and it was the whole creamer conversation, okay? She was talking to me about the damn creamer in the kitchen, and I'm over it. You got me out here looking stupid, talking to you about some damn creamer when I got 3 fucking files on my desk from 3 reps that need my attention, and you over here on this bullshit, Brittany. And I had to come to Jesus moment with her, and I was like, look, I understand that you are only here every once in a while, but I am here with these 9 to 10 men all of the time, and I know exactly what they drink, I know exactly what they do, and I know exactly what I need in the office as far as supplies is concerned, based off of me being here for months at this point. So I don't really feel like that's necessary. It's not in our budget to do that and get 2 or 3 of each thing. We would like to talk to the guys about it and see, you know, if they would prefer hazelnut or vanilla. That's completely up to you, but as of right now, everything's good. I was not trying to be a bitch. I just did not want to continue to have these conversations for no reason, okay? And it gets to a point where you have to lay down a boundary. And I was like, I have these projects. I appreciate your concern. Thank you for bringing them to me. I'm gonna get back to work. Miss Brittany did not like that. She did not like that. As I was walking away, like I didn't give her a chance to agree or to say okay or whatever. Like I don't really care about your input at this point. That's what it is. I gotta get back to work. I start walking away, and I literally hear this girl as I'm walking away go, wow, professional. This was young, fresh out of high school Nikki, okay? And I had such a hard time controlling my temper. So I stepped back and I was like, I'm sorry? Oh, nothing. We'll talk about it later, girl. I understand you're busy. Nah, that's not what you said, but okay. I needed to let her know in that moment I'm not the one. You can't just be saying stuff under your breath and me not call it out. Like, I'm in that mood today. So if you want some, you can get some. Let me know. The relationship between Brittany and I was just kind of off because she did not like that conversation that we had. Like from that point on, she had like this little attitude with me. She was very snippy, very short with me. And you know what? I preferred it like that. Like I can't even stand the sound of your voice, bitch. Thank you so much for backing the fuck up off me, right? So we're good. It's not awkward. We just don't fucks with each other. Moving on. Fast forward, we have internship programs, and sometimes internship programs can be all year round, and some of them are seasonal. The internship program that was a part of our business was seasonal, and there was one girl that did her seasonal internship here at this company, and she'd been doing so. This would be like the 3rd year that she's doing it, right? So everyone in the office had already met this girl. One day comes around, my boss comes to me, and he's like, oh, hey, you know, I just want to let you know our seasonal intern's coming in today. Her name's Jennifer. She's going to be sitting in this cubicle right here. If you could help her get set up, that would be great. And y'all, I was so excited. Number 1, to have another girl in the office. Number 2, to have another younger girl in the office. Like, no offense to Miss Janet, but like I loved her and everything, but like, you know, she didn't understand, okay? And thirdly, I was drowning in work and I really needed the help, which is where Jennifer was going to come in. The time comes around when it's going to be Jennifer's first day. She was going to be working for like half days, a few days out of the week, after school, before school, because she was still in college. And so the day comes around, she comes in, y'all. Gorgeous, blonde, but not like a typical blonde, like she's like a dirty blonde. She comes up gorgeous, really nice, really soft-spoken, really mellow, calm energy, okay? So she introduces herself to me and I tell her who I am and I'm so excited for her to be here. I show her to her cubicle and, you know, I get up to, you know, shake her hand and show her to her cubicle, and she comes around the side of my desk and girl, that thing was sitting nice, okay? I ain't even gonna lie. She was dressed in like this cute work outfit, but them slacks, was really form-fitting, girl, and she had a beautiful body. Like, athletic. She has some really nice thighs, and the booty was just sitting right. I ain't even gonna lie. It was impossible to ignore. It was like one of them. I'm like trying to fight the urge, you know, and I'm like, so I take her to her cubicle and, you know, show her where she's gonna be working or whatever. We get her all set up. What I loved about her is that she had done this before, so I didn't really have to train her a whole lot. I didn't have to walk her through a whole lot. Once I got her login, she was good to go, and I'm passing over some of my files to her, and we're like tag teaming this shit, and I love it, okay? So as time goes on, like I said, she's on a part-time basis, so we start getting closer, Jennifer and I, when she's there in the office, you know, kind of chilling, hanging out, going through these files together, and she becomes one of my good friends. Like I said in the beginning, girl, as I started working here more, and because this is all men, and like I would actually call them boys because they were just so young, all of them. Best believe, girl, we did not always have the most appropriate conversations in the office. Was just kind of the dynamic. So it comes up somehow, some way. One of my guy friends that I work with, he comes to my desk. It's when Jennifer's not around. And I just remember him making comments about her ass. And he was like, did you see that thing? You know, like just stuff like that. And I was like, shut up. And I was like, whatever. And he was like, you know, it's hard not to get distracted. And I was like, don't be doing that. So I'm talking to him and I'm like, don't be trying to like make her feel awkward. I was like, just be respectful. You better be respectful. That's my girl, whatever. Anyways, we're having this conversation. It's very playful, very lighthearted about Jennifer. All of a sudden, I hear this high-pitched ass voice coming from the kitchen. Oh my God. Seriously? Comes Brittany turning the corner out of the kitchen straight towards my desk, and she could overhear everything that we were saying. And so she comes up and decides that she's gonna give her 2 cents. Are you guys talking about Jennifer? She's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but like my body could never like hold that type of weight. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like a lot more petite. Sounding a little jealous there, bitch. Like she sounded like a jealous ass woman. Jealousy written all over her, okay? I don't remember verbatim like the words that she was saying, but she definitely was trying to downplay Jennifer as far as her intelligence, as far as her capabilities, as far as how much she helped. And last but not least, her body. Making these comments like, you know, I could never, and like, you know, making a comparison between Jennifer and herself. Now, Brittany was a very tiny person. She wasn't lying, bitch. She was very petite. She was just like, I mean, if I had to put a size on her, I would say 0 to a 00, bitch. She was very tiny. So she tried to make it about that. And like the minute she started making it about that, like everybody just got quiet. And it's me, all the guys, and her. And we're just sitting there looking at her, and I'm like, oh. Yeah, she just ruined the whole fucking vibe. After that, everyone starts like dispersing, going back to their office. And I'm like, okay, well, like I gotta work. And you could tell that she felt so awkward and out of place. And that wasn't my intention. But at the end of the day, like only time I ever heard from Brittany was about something negative. And she did not have to come at Jennifer like that. Like anytime anybody wanted to give Jennifer kudos or like thanks or props for her role in the office, whether it was part-time or not, Brittany was the first to be like, well, we've all seen this before. Girl, jealous of other girl. This isn't new. Fast forward some time, and the lady that I worked with, that she was in HR, you know, she was having more and more meetings in the office, and she was starting to have people come in for interviews, and apparently they were hiring for another rep in our office, and I had no idea. So a coworker comes to me, she tells me, hey, I'm gonna have a few interviews today, and I think she had like 3 or 4 interviews that day, and she wanted to let me know so that I could sign them in, stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay. So she tells me the position and everything that they're hiring for. Cool. So fast forward, Jennifer comes into the office looking all hella cute. Okay. She heads straight to her cubicle. We say, hey, what's up? You know, we're having our little talks. She gets to work. I get to work. Normal last day, okay? As soon as I sit down after my lunch break, I sit down on my desk. I'm there for a few minutes, and all of a sudden, this guy walks into the office in scrubs. Like, hi, can I help you? Like, I felt like maybe he was in the wrong place. I don't know. He's conventionally attractive. He's got like dark brown hair. He had like blue eyes, and he's in these scrubs. So it looks like, you know, he's in medicine or some shit. So I was like, oh, pues wow, okay. Y'all, before he even gets to answer me, oh my God, hi, babe. It's Brittany. Here comes Brittany coming out of the HR office. She comes around my desk and she grabs his entire face and kisses him, okay? Anyways, girl, she turns around. She introduces him to me as her husband, Brad. And I'm like, y'all, I am shook. They just didn't seem to match. And I don't know. I don't know, bitch. Like, they just did not seem like they went together. Have you ever seen couples like that where you're like, really? Okay. Brittany takes Brad all around the office and starts introducing him to everybody. Apparently he's there for an interview. And so I'm so confused and I'm like, why is she taking him around to everybody? Like, he's interviewed right now. He's not hired or anything. So the way that our office was set up like a big U. My desk was in the center of it. So she takes off down this side of the hallway, and every office she's stopping, cubicle she's stopping. This is my husband, Brad. Oh my God, da da da. She doubles back in the center next to me. There's some cubicles, and that's where Jennifer is sitting. Brittany doubles back with her mans, and she starts going this way, passing me. Bitch, I swear, she like stops and looks at Jennifer and was like, and kept on walking. She was not about to stop there with her mans to introduce him to Jennifer. And y'all, I peeped it. I was like, oh, pues, wow. You don't want him to meet Jennifer? You fucking jealous bitch. She avoided Jennifer's cubicle, and I thought that was so funny because we all know why. Okay? And as soon as she disappears into an office, Jennifer pops her head up over the cubicle at me, and she's like, what the fuck? It's like, bitch, she done skipped you. And she was like, he goes around meeting everybody, and finally he has his interview. Tell me why, bitch. When he goes in for his interview, why did Brittany walk in there with him? Why did they do a co-husband-wife interview up in that bitch? She literally could not allow him to do his interview by himself, girl. She was in there with him. Sure enough, he gets hired on. Next thing I know, he's a rep in my office. From one day to the next, he went from scrubs to a full-on suit. Going through his introductory period, he's got to meet all the guys that I work with. I cannot even explain to you with my words what a difference this man's behavior was when his wife was around versus when she wasn't. It wasn't necessarily bad, but it was the Brad that we met initially, not the Brad that was becoming a part of our everyday office culture. At first, he was like super straight-laced, really wanted to go by the book, kind of took everything serious, had his shit super together. As he started finding his place in the office, really getting to know the guys, kind of getting comfortable, bitch, all that facade started falling off, okay? And, he'd be hanging out with the guys, chilling in the coffee room. Like, I was constantly having to go in there. Y'all, it was like babysitting constantly. I was having to go around the office and like be like, come on, like, y'all gotta get back to work. Y'all need to get these files done. Y'all need to meet with y'all's clients. I would be calling them out. Robert, what do you think you're doing? You got a meeting in 25 minutes at the McDonald's down the street. Alex, I don't know what you're doing because you still have 20 calls to make and fucking voicemails up the ass. Colin, don't even get me started. And if you actually want to make it in this business, and maybe you should probably get some clients or like some referrals, something like that, get your shit together. Fast forward, one day comes around. It's a normal day, and it is the day that Jennifer's gonna come in for one of her shifts. Brad had started. He had never been in the office with Jennifer since Brittany passed her cubicle that first day. He had never spoken to Jennifer before. And best believe I knew this, okay? And I kept fucking mental track of this. And I was so looking forward, because I'm a messy bitch. I was so looking forward to that moment. Jennifer comes in, as per usual, looking all hella cute. It was like a Friday or something because she was dressed more casual. And she goes to her cubicle. She sets on her stuff. We work for a few hours. I get a King Soopers order. It's like a grocery order. The delivery comes in. I take all of the bags to the kitchen and, I'm putting everything away. In the kitchen, there's this big ass printer. Okay, it's huge. We used to call it the dinosaur. All of a sudden, that thing starts going off and it is just like printing and printing and printing and printing to the point where, like, while I'm putting things away, I'm like looking back like, what the fuck? Like, who is printing this fucking novel? Like, what the hell, right? Brad comes into the kitchen / copy room and he goes straight up to the printer. And so I look back and I'm like, is that you printing out a whole ass manuscript. Like, what are you doing? Laughing. He's telling me that he's working on this big project. He's printing out all this stuff. He's got to make packets, right? So he starts talking to me and trying to convince me to help him put together these packets, bribing me, lunch, whatever, coffee, whatever. And I'm like, no, I have my own work, So he and I start going back and forth. So he and I are talking. I'm still doing what I'm doing. I'm putting stuff away in the fridge, all the creamers and shit, putting all those things away in the fridge and stuff. And literally, he was like talking to me and saying whatever. And literally, this man stopped talking so abruptly that it made me stop what I was doing. And I had to like look back to make sure that this man didn't faint or something. Cause like when I tell you right in the middle, like that, y'all, I look back. This man is stopped dead in his tracks. And he's at the printer and he's looking over. Jennifer walks into the kitchen, bitch. Oh my God, thank God you got the order. Like, we were running so low on creamer. Like, I'm dragging. I need some more coffee. She comes in directly, like, talking to me about this order that I just got in. And y'all, when I tell you, you know those cartoons where it'll make like the hearts are coming out their eyes like this to like just like that, bitch. In real life, this man was doing that. Like, I'm telling you, his fucking soul left his body looking at this woman, okay? So I start talking to Jennifer and I'm looking at Brad like, get it together. And y'all, he had to literally like get it together and was just like, and he starts messing with the paper, dropping papers. Like, all of a sudden he's fumbling, slipping, like shit slipping out of his hand. Like, he is clearly very nervous. The printer ain't even done printing, bitch. He just randomly grabbed a stack of papers and left, okay? Immediately, Jennifer looks at me like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, we all know what that was. Can I get a name, man? I started noticing that Mr. Brad would show up in his suits just coincidentally on the exact same days that Jenny was coming into the office. Before I knew it, they were chumming it up in the break room, you know, having coffee in the morning, you know, just kind of chit-chatting by her cubicle. That very friendly. Honestly, me sitting there all day, every day, and like being within earshot, it was all very innocent. But however, there was definitely an attraction there. Brad was not a bad looking guy, and Jennifer definitely was not a bad looking girl. And like, they were definitely attracted to each other, but they were doing a really good job of keeping it respectful. Still, I'm looking over there and I'm like, haha, not my man. Like, I still would not be fine with my man, like, I don't know, having a friendly relationship with the woman in the office. Call me jealous, I really don't care. Even at this level, even though they weren't being sexual or inappropriate with each other, they were kind of like getting close and spending quite a bit of time together when she was in the office. Fast forward, one day comes around and like there's this huge meeting that we had that day, and then we split up to go do our own projects. And again, you know, as the day went on, you know, before I knew it, Brad had come down the hallway and he had stopped at Jenny's cubicle, and he was legitimately talking to her about some file or some project that he was working on that she knew about or something like that. And he stopped at her cubicle and was just having like literal work conversation with her. Sudden dun dun, here comes Brittany. He comes in loud as fuck, and because like I'm right there in the front, well, that means Jennifer is right there in the front too, and that's where Brad was. Soon as Brittany comes into our suite, she is met with me, Jennifer, and her mans. Brad is literally leaning on the side of Jennifer's cubicle, like looking in at her, talking to her, and Brittany comes in, she's like, hey everyone, how are you? Oh, hi honey. She saw that entire situation, girl, and her whole face changed. Brad does the man thing to do, and he straightens up and he pulls it together. Hey, honey, how was your day? Like, my day's good. It's been busy. And he goes right into it. And he is so slick about it. He goes right into it. And he's like, I have this project. And, you know, Jennifer here has been helping me with it. And I just have a few more things to do. And then we'll close on this project and da-da-da. So he immediately starts telling her how busy he's been and just really gets her involved in this conversation. So that way she doesn't have time to really process or question the situation that she just walked in on. He was very slick. And I'm sitting here watching this and I'm like, wow, I'm taking notes. Wow, because men can be very slick like that. And so he was able to get Brittany's mind off of the fact that he was at Jennifer's desk, and he ended up grabbing his wife and taking her down the hallway to his office. And straight up, me and Jennifer just looked at each other like, he almost got caught, bitch. All of a sudden, I hear my supervisor coming down the hallway, and he's the head of this branch. So whatever he needs is top priority. And I hear him coming down the hall, and he was like, no, we have to have a meeting now. Like, we need to talk about this now, whatever. Like, there was a lot of importance placed on this. So he was like, everybody enter the conference room now. He wasn't mad or anything, but he was just very matter of fact. And as he passes by, he goes, Nikki, I'm going to need you to take minutes. And I was like, okay, so no questions asked. I turn off my computer, I grab my shit, and I head into the conference room. In this conference room is my supervisor, Brad, Brittany, and Jennifer. Immediately, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. Meeting starts, and they start talking about this client. He's been a long time client. Apparently, my supervisor was gonna be passing on this client's file over to Brad as his first client. He honestly was getting a lot of perks for coming, like being onboarded as Brittany's husband, because I just felt like everybody was handing him everything. But anyways, girl, so they're, having their talks or whatever. I'm taking my notes. And as we're nearing the end of this meeting, all of a sudden Brad goes, wow, like this is a huge file, and I really appreciate you entrusting me with this client, and I'm not going to let you down. And honestly, Jennifer, thank you so much, because you really taught me a lot and how to work within the database, and like I really appreciate it. And so like, thank you. Y'all, I look over at Brittany, and she is fucking fuming. Like, she is just like, I know you did not just thank this bitch. I know you did not just thank this bitch. I mean, I personally wouldn't call data entry hard work, right, Jennifer? Like, that's hardly hard work. Jennifer was a fucking queen about it. She took it in stride, and she was like, no, not hard, just tedious. And like, it was no problem at all. She kept her focus on Brad and my supervisor, and she was like, no problem at all. If you ever need any help, let me know. I'm really glad that we were able to, get this squared away and get everything finished in time. Y'all, she kept it so professional. I gotta give Jenny the props, bitch, because it could not be me. It could not be me. And Brittany was over here just cheap shots at Jennifer. And Jennifer was keeping her head up high the entire time and was like, I don't care. I don't care if you don't think that my job is that important, bitch. It's important to your mans. This definitely was not the last time that Brittany would say some slick shit to Jennifer or about Jennifer. This was just the only time that she did it within a meeting. But as time went on, Brittany would always seem to have something to say about Jennifer's role in the company and just making little sly comments here and there. And although Jennifer was taking it like a woman and like she was not allowing it to affect her work or affect anything about her, Jennifer did not forget. And this is where things got a little messy. As time went on and Jennifer genuinely was trying to mind her business through her job, Brittany would come around and make those sly and slick comments to Jennifer. Legitimately saw a shift in Jennifer where I felt like she had just had enough, and she was like, okay, you want to hate me? I'm going to give you a reason to hate me, bitch. Started noticing that Jennifer was coming to work extra cute. One time, I'm not even kidding y'all, one time she came in like a straight up midi like bodycon dress, like those tight ass bandage dresses, and she had like a blazer over it, but still, bitch, like it was so much, you know what I mean? And with like her big badankadon, like shit, girl, okay? And sure enough, her and Brad, were still friendly and hanging out and shooting the shit every time she was in the office. And then one day in particular, Jennifer's in the office, we're all there, and Brittany stops by, and she's not staying, she was stopping by to drop off something for her man. Okay, he needed it for something after work. I don't know. Oh, I'm not gonna be here for too long. I just wanted to drop this off to Brad. Right? I just remember it being really fast. I don't remember if he was on the phone in a meeting. He just wasn't available at that time. She saw that. She came to me and she was like, hey, Nikki, I have this. It was like a drawstring backpack looking bag, and I don't know what was in it, but she was like, hey, he needs this for after work. He's doing something with his friends. He needs this. Can you give it to him? And I was like, I wish I could, but I can't because I literally had a meeting with my supervisor. But I was like, hey, I'm not going to be here at my desk by the time he's done with whatever he's doing. So I can't give it to him. I can email him and tell him to come pick it up from my desk. Is that fine? Actually, no, that's fine. She was like, it's okay, Nikki. I'll just give it to Jennifer. She was like, Jennifer, would you mind giving this to my husband when he's done? I'm sure you can handle that, right? So Jennifer looks up from her cubicle and she hesitantly takes the bag and she's like, yeah, like I can give this to Brad, like no problem. I'm trusting you, Jennifer, because like he really needs these for after work, and like I know you're blonde, but just try your best to not forget. I'm watching all this play out, bitch. I wanted to have my popcorn. I was like, oh shit, oh shit. I'm assuming you have plans. Like obviously you would not dress like that like for no reason, right? You guys have a good weekend and stay safe out there in the dating scene, and definitely wear a jacket because you look a little cold. I swear this girl straight up left this office telling Jennifer, make sure you wear a coat because you look fucking cold. Basically calling her a hoe, bitch. Basically telling her that she's dressed like a hoe. You know that line. I know that line. When a bitch tries to tell you to put on some clothes or put on a jacket, like she's trying to call you a hoe. I look at Jennifer and I'm like, what the fuck is that bitch on? Like, what did she say to you? And Jennifer was not here for it. Finished the day off. There wasn't a whole lot of time left in the day. We're about to, close the office for the day. And I see Jennifer stop Brad. And she's like, hey, Brad, like, by the way, your wife stopped by the office. Brad stopped in his tracks and he was like, what? She told me that you needed this for after work. And she handed him the bag that Brittany had dropped off. And he was like, oh, thanks. And he grabbed it and he was kind of awkward about it. It's great that she dropped this off. I don't need it anymore. My friends canceled. We were going to play this game. I guess whatever he needed for the game was in that bag. And he was like, but I'll just keep it here and save it for next time. And Brad started talking to her about the project and the client, that they had been on that file together. They start making plans after work that day to go over this file together. The thing about this was screaming date. This is a fucking date, okay? Y'all, I'm trying to eavesdrop. They make these plans. He goes to his office to like pack up. We start packing up. I'm grabbing my purse, turning off my computer. I look over at Jennifer packing up her stuff and, grabbing her purse and stuff. And she stands up and she was like, have a good weekend. I was like, yeah, you too. And she was like, no, I will. I'm going to dinner with Brad. And I was like, I left my job that day knowing that two of my coworkers, one of which was married, were going to dinner that night. And I know for a fucking fact that Brittany had no idea. And this continued for months. And I was aware of it the entire time. So that is the first part of the story between Jennifer and Brad at my job. Messy, messy, messy. But take it as a lesson, girl. Just because a person might make you feel a little insecure or you might be a little jelly belly doesn't give you the right to treat them all types of crazy. And because if you do, they might come after your man. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you already know what to do with that like button. And of course, the subscribe button if you would like to see little old me in your subscription box. I'll leave my Instagram, Twitter here if you guys would like some more Nikki in your life. And of course, let me know down below if you guys have had anything similar go on in your office, because we all know that that's where all the tea is. But thank y'all so much for being here and chilling with me for story time. I love y'all so much, and I will see your fine ass in my next video. Peace out, y'all.